This is the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, we interview leading local business leaders to inspire the vision and spirit that is in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque.
Hi, my name is Jason Rigby, and welcome to the Albuquerque Business Podcast. Today on our show, we have a very special guest. Well, actually two. We're going to be talking about online business, subscription boxes, and a little bit of UNM basketball. This podcast has been brought to you by 99.9 The BFM. If you live in the Albuquerque area, we would love for you to turn into 99.9 FM. If you're a business and you want to have good oldies or old school hip hop, this is a great radio station to stream in your business area. I know a lot of businesses are doing that now. You can go to 99.9thebfm.com and they have a streaming tool there. And it's a great radio station. Your customers will remember it. They'll be going through it. And then from there, they'll enjoy it tremendously. We also want to thank Duke City Marketing for the latest state-of-the-art digital marketing agency here in Albuquerque. You can go to www.dukecitymarketing.com. Well, today on the show, we have two special people. They are Eric and Jordan Smith, and their owners. I want to make sure I pronounce this right. Eric, it's nuevofoodbox.com?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, perfect. And you guys, right now, you live near or in Austin, Texas?
Yeah, we actually live in the suburb of Austin. It's called Leander.
Oh, okay, cool. And I have heard that the traffic is horrific there.
We moved from Los Angeles, so when we got out here, everybody said, oh, the traffic. And, growing up in Albuquerque, I didn't really know traffic until I got into these bigger cities. And, it's not great, but we avoid it as much as possible. Good thing about being a small business owner, you don't have an office you got to go to every day.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I have a friend of mine that was in the San Francisco area, and he just moved to Austin. I'm surprised how many people are moving in that city.
Yeah, it's one of the fastest growing cities in the country, for sure.
That's crazy. It's kind of like a little blue section in the red of Texas, I've heard.
Yeah, most of Texas decides that Austin is not part of Texas.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I want to kind of start off with a little bit about yourself. I know when I went to your website and read a little bit, I know, Jordan, you have an interesting past, especially here with the University of New Mexico. Can you explain a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a small town girl, grew up outside of Las Vegas, Nevada, was recruited to come play for the University of New Mexico women's basketball team. I came to play in New Mexico in 1999, which is going on quite a few years. But I went there, played basketball for 4 years. We were, as far as basketball teams go, we went farthest than any of the teams had gone. We went to Sweet 16. And I had a great career there, was shortly after drafted to the WNBA, and I played for the Minnesota Lynx after that, and then was able to go over and play overseas in a few different countries. And then eventually I played for the Canadian senior women's national team. And not a lot of people know that about me. Lobo fans out there don't really know that my biological father is Canadian, so I was able to play for the national team there. So yeah, I went to New Mexico, and just the people were so awesome to me there, kind of treated me as their own, and I loved it so much. I came back and actually worked for Coach Flanagan, the head coach, while I was a player. He's kind of a legend in his own right in Albuquerque, and I was able to come back and work with him until his retirement, and got to live there for a few years and be an actual citizen and not just a college athlete, and it was great.
Do you still play basketball at all? I mean, could you go in a pickup game and then all the guys are thinking, what? And then next thing you know, you school everyone?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The answer is yes.
I don't know. I've had 2 children, so to be honest with you, I will tell you that I will beat you, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe in a shooting contest right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I just watched that the other day at the college. I don't know if you saw it on, I think it was on ESPN the other day, and there was a girl, she ended up, I think it was like 22 or 23 free throws it was a three-throw, it was like that competition. It was just nuts.
Yeah, there's some pretty amazing shooters out there for sure. My little brother plays professionally overseas, and he's a national champion with Kentucky, and he's got one of the purest shots you've ever seen.
Oh, wow. What's his name?
Kyle Wiltshire.
Oh, okay. And did he ever come to Albuquerque at all, or?
No, I didn't meet him till after I played for UNM. That's my Canadian roots right there. I met him and my biological father after I played at UNM, so he never made the visit over.
Yeah, it's cool whenever you can be a part of history like that, especially with the history where you took a women's basketball team. I mean, all of you guys were participation in that, but you actually went to the Sweet 16. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was like one of the best times in my life. I mean, we were able to not only do that, but we did it in front of sold-out crowds in the pit for that tournament. It was just one of the most surreal moments ever.
That's amazing. So, Eric, let me get into this a little bit with you, if you don't mind. What is it like owning an online business and working together being married?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. I don't think I knew how it was going to work when we first kind of jumped into this. We were, kind of always wanted to do something exciting like this, jumped into it. But I can tell you, it's been awesome. And so I think you hear a lot of horror stories about husband-wife teams. That's not been the case for us. We've been really enjoying it. We kind of have complementary personalities. That's what helps us in our marriage, and it helps us in business as well, where we are able to kind of divide duties and lean on each other's strengths. And so it's been really great. The hardest thing for us is just we have two little ones, and so finding time to get that business meeting in, between nap times and taking breaks to go take care of, bring peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and things. So
I love those.
It's been fantastic. I mean, we haven't run into the problems that maybe other couples have.
Do you guys have like separate gym times? I mean, at some point you have to you got to have your me time.
Yeah, I think a lot of business owners that might be listening can understand this, but the hard is really disconnecting, right? The same, you want to work on your business at all times and go and go and go, and sometimes we find ourselves, at the dinner table talking about website traffic and sourcing and things like that, and we have to say, whoa, let's maybe live our lives a little bit. So that's been something that's kind of, I think, surprising to me, coming from a corporate world that, I want to work in this thing and I want to grow it, and kind of work doesn't feel like work that much.
What is your website? And kind of, if you don't mind, if both of you kind of explain a little bit about what you do so people know, because we all get subscription boxes, but we really don't know, the outcome of it. So could you describe a little bit of it?
Yeah, so our business is super simple, and I think anyone that's been in Albuquerque, been in New Mexico, or loves food will get it, right? So New Mexico has one of the most unique food cultures in the world, I would say. Our mix of different communities coming together and bringing all of their unique foods, it's created some just fantastic food. And so if you ever talk to anyone that lives in New Mexico, is in New Mexico, loves going to visit the Bloom Fiesta, food is the first thing that comes up. And, when we came up with this idea, we were just kind of thinking about it. We had lived all over the country. Jordan's lived all over the world. And at every place we go, we miss green chili. We miss enchiladas. We miss sopapillas. We miss the stuff that we love eating in Albuquerque. And so the idea to combine those and then add into the subscription box business into that just kind of made sense, and it really came together for us. What we do is you can order online a subscription to Nuevo, which is going to get you a box every single month. It's going to contain 4 to 5 different items, ingredients, all food, all edible, all non-perishable. So you're going to be able to get your red sauce, your green chili sauce, different kinds of salsas. We're going to give you some green chili dips, some spices, red chili powders, things like that. And then you're also going to get, really unique stuff that probably even people that have grown up in Albuquerque like I have didn't quite understand that all this stuff existed. So, there's red chili jelly, red chili honey. What else? We're gonna have an olive oil infused with green chili, and it's amazing. Just add it to any of your cooking, and it's super delicious. Adds that little bit of kick of green chili that you love. But again, it's something that not a lot of New Mexicans even realize is available. Yeah, we just made some vinaigrette dressing with that green chili olive oil, and it's perfect. I mean, it just really is. So adding all the authentic things that you maybe miss or that you want to add into your dinners, but then also giving you some unique stuff that maybe you haven't heard of before. So really finding those vendors that have that New Mexico flavor and can bring new stuff. So every box is different. Every month you're going to get different products, and you can cancel, pause at any time. You can prepay for 3 months. You can give them as gifts. A lot of different options when it comes to ordering our box. We kind of like the option for as far as gifts. We have a lot of people that really like the 3-month option. They get a little bit of a discount, but also, you're giving a gift over the span of 3 months. So it's not like the gift that kind of keeps on giving, and they get a nice selection of different kinds of products.
Oh, that's awesome. And what is your guys' website?
It's www.nuevofood.com. NuevoFoodBox.com.
So if you have, like, for instance, I have a daughter and she lives in Wyoming and she's always wanted me to send her green chili. Being able to do something. I saw on your guys' Instagram. What's your guys' Instagram? Because it's really cool.
All of our social media is at Nuevo Food Box. So we're on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I saw you guys had some like sopapilla mix. I could imagine somebody living, in a different state being able to make that. We take it for granted, living here, but.
Yeah, every time we try to explain this, we were just on an unboxing review YouTube site the other day, and trying to explain to people that haven't been in New Mexico before. Sopapillas are the easiest way to explain it, right? This is something that does not exist outside of the borders of our state, and when people try it, they love it, right? So it's just something that just doesn't get out there, and we want to make sure that we take that to everybody that had to move away, but also we're looking to expand this great food and this great culture that makes us New Mexicans and get it out to other people and make sure that share it with the world. So yeah, sopapillas, actually the mix we had in our last box, so our box that just went out a couple days ago, had 2 pounds of sopapilla mix. Just add water, throw them in. That's from Valencia Flour Mill, which is a 100-year-old mill just out that still uses steel and wooden machines to mill all their flour. So there's just a lot of stories to this product, a lot of recipes that have been handed down for generations that now are getting bottled and out to the masses. We're really excited to bring those stories to customers as well.
Yeah, and I think that's so important because of the heritage that we have here. It's amazing. And not, we have, I don't know how many people from Food Network has been down here and done shows and gone through it all, in the extent. What are some of the things that you guys put in your box?
Let's see. So last box, help me out with this. We had red chili sauce.
Yeah, it was already pre-made sauce. It was already done Santa Fe Ole. And then we had, of course, the sopapilla mix. And to go with the sopapilla mix, we had red chili honey from Monroe's. Just super interesting and just something to add to it. You can get honey anywhere, but when you add a little red chili to it, we thought that was really fun and interesting. We also had a green chili ranch dip.
Oh, wow.
Eric actually made an amazing video that kind of went viral for us. It was green chili cracked chicken. And cracked chicken, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like this super delicious keto food. And so it kind of got around to everyone. And you add a little green chili to it and it just adds that little kick to it. And that was kind of a big hit with our customers and our followers on social media.
Oh, that's awesome. I really love that you guys have like the stories that go along with it, because I think a lot of that heritage is missed.
Yeah, agreed. Every box comes with a card that explains what's in the box too. So, you kind of make your business around the stuff that you really like and value. And, when we sit around with family and friends and have a dinner, we want the dinner to kind of have some character to it. And so being able to tell a story about the food you serve, I think is a really cool thing.
I also think that we're so disconnected now, just going to the store and buying our food, and we don't know where our food's coming from. And people really enjoy the authenticity of some of these products. And it's something interesting to feel connected to. And, we have a group on social media that is exclusive for our subscribers, and they get on there and they talk about the products together, and they talk about how they use their products and recipes, and they share pictures, and it's just connecting people again.
Yeah, that's amazing. I really enjoyed that. So now, when you guys were working through this, and because I want to take it back, because there may be some entrepreneurs that are out there listening to this that may be deciding to start something like this, don't know where to begin. How did you develop the brand, and how did you see a need for this?
Yeah, so the need came, like I said, because we needed it, right? We needed this product because we were living out of state and wanted the food, and it made sense, right? So it worked really, the niche and the need for it all came together at the same time, saying, hey, people like us need this. And we have enough friends and family spread out through the world that we said, this is going to work. And so that's probably the first thing we did. If I had to really think back on what we did, is we just started asking people, would you buy this? Everyone was like, yes, why has someone done this, right? Then we had to make sure that no one had done it. And there's definitely some gift boxes and sauces a month out there, but we didn't see exactly what on the market what we were doing, which was going to be all the ingredients and foods to make your own dinner.
Just the variety, and like I said, there was a customer recently that's inside Albuquerque there's a couple customers inside of Albuquerque who subscribed to us, and they're like, I didn't even know this existed, and they were just so excited to try all these different products out. And to be honest with you, all of the people who follow us on social media from within New Mexico are sharing it with all their friends and family who are always asking, how how do we get this done?
Mm-hmm. So that made a lot of sense to us, I mean, just to get started. But the brand, I mean, specifically the brand, I think for us, and I think for a lot of business owners, it probably starts to feel like a real thing when the logo and the color schemes start coming together and the website design starts happening. We just reached out to a graphic designer we knew from a friend and kind of started working with her to get the graphics down and get the logo, and the logo then created our colors. We lean on turquoise and red, turquoise traditional color of New Mexico, and we kind of, once that started coming together, then I think everything started to flow really easily. And like I said, we are the customer, so we need to check in and say, hey, is this right for our market, right for our niche? We just kind of talk to ourselves and our family and friends who are our customers that we're looking to grow with.
Yeah, and your box is amazing. I mean, if somebody goes to Instagram, they can clearly see it. I think there's an unboxing of it, but I think I saw it on your stories or whatever, but it's a beautiful, you have the logo on there, and then it's a beautiful turquoise. So like you said, it would make an excellent gift to someone that,
that's kind of where we really were leaning on this turquoise, because it's just so classic. It's so beautiful. We wanted this to feel, even if you're subscribing yourself, we want you to get excited about opening up and seeing this beautiful classic color. I always kind of think of like Tiffany's a blue, and people know that color. I feel like turquoise is just such a great brand color for us. We've had our customers saying, don't ever change the color, don't ever change the logo. We love it. It makes us happy, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah, no, and I think that, so, I know as far as you guys, obviously have a customer base, you've obviously came up with an idea. Can you talk, if somebody's looking out there and they're not for sure, I mean, you guys had a need, and through that need, you developed your business. But what if, I know, especially with subscription boxes, there has to be like a certain specific niche. How did you guys, come up with that, or what advice would you give to somebody on that?
Well, I think if you're looking to buy subscription boxes, the first thing you need to do is understand competition, right? Other than food boxes, beauty boxes are the second biggest driver of subscription box sales. And if you're going to make a beauty box, right, you need to go and find out what's different about your ideas than the rest of the world and your competitors. We did a lot of that. We searched a lot. There's some fantastic companies out there that are doing great boxes. But when we looked at it, we said, hey, our unique idea of variety, and we probably morphed our ideas a lot of trying to get variety and different, that mix of authentic ingredients with some nice surprises. Just want to make yourself different. That's the whole idea around the subscription box business, is that for every person out there in the world, they can find something for them, right? Something that they need that your traditional retail and e-commerce is not providing. That kind of worked for us, is just kind of going out there and figuring it out, and kept waiting for someone to have our exact idea out there, and they didn't. And even if they did, I think there's room in the market for a lot of different people here. Like I said, there's not just the New Mexicans that live outside of New Mexico. There's people that live in the state. There's people that have never been there that deserve to get this food.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of new businesses that are coming up, especially here. I've gone to the farmers market here in Albuquerque, and it's thriving. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're seeing all these organic brands and these new brands that come out. If they wanted to get a hold of you guys, what would be a way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, we would prefer them to contact us via email. It's at nuevofoodbox@gmail.com. We've gotten a lot of vendors just sending us an email, letting us know their wholesale prices, and just kind of, getting in touch with us that way.
Yeah, and so, because I'm looking at it and seeing, because if somebody comes out, we have lavender fields now, and we have organic lotions. We're getting all these different amazing companies that are coming in. I know you guys have heard we got Netflix in here now. They're doing most of their filming.
Yeah.
Albuquerque starting to, we had a little, and I talked about this in my previous podcast, we had a little bit of a setback, but we're starting to grow and starting to get, Facebook just moved into Los Lunas. And I think along with that comes these businesses, especially these little niche businesses that, have organic products. So if somebody's got a placement in Whole Foods, you would be more than happy to get an email from them or them to send you a product?
Absolutely, yeah. Just send us an email. Jordan works with all of our vendors. We try to connect with you. We try to talk to you on the phone, tell you what to expect with us. And, we love connecting with those kind of people and just finding out what everybody has. We're trying to source and curate our boxes for the next couple months coming forward, so we're always looking for variety. And I'll tell you, you just mentioned Netflix, and I had to write a note down because I want to reach out to, if anybody out there is affiliated with Netflix, give us a call. We would love to do boxes for all your production. So you just gave me an idea.
Yeah, that's a perfect corporate one there. But I know I was talking to a couple actors that were filming a TV series here, and they were talking about how much they love the food. So you're getting people from California, you're getting all these different people that are coming here. They have to stay here. They put them up in apartment. They have several apartment complexes that they put them up here. And then they turn around and they have to stay here and do all the filming, for a month or two. Some are even driving their cars down here to, and then just going and visiting all the different restaurants and breweries and stuff like that and just enjoying it. So I think that would be a perfect compliment there.
There's a great interview with Bryan Cranston that I can remember where he was talking about learning about red and green chili, and he was just going on and on about it, the actor from Breaking Bad. And I was side as a kid that grew up in New Mexico. I was just jumping for joy. I'm like, oh my gosh, like one of my favorite actors likes our food, so it's really cool. I love the fact that movie studios and stuff are figuring out that we're a good place to have their production.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was talking with someone the other day, and they have an actual zoo out in the country, and they have alligators and termites and all this stuff, and Netflix had reached out to them and said, hey, we want to use your animals in our shows. It just helps the community out so much and brings an awareness to New Mexico, just like you guys are doing. I think bringing that food and taking it nationally, that's an amazing, a lot of people ask what's the why for your business, and I think that's a beautiful, like you were sharing that story with the Sopapilla mix. That company's been around for 100 years. That's something that other people, you don't see that very much anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me ask you a little bit about subscription box business. I mean, if somebody's out there and they've gotten interested and they're looking at doing something like this, did you guys do a pre-launch, or what was the beginning stages you guys did?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that really helped us get going is partnering with the company CrateJoy. So CrateJoy is our website, does our website development. They're our back end for all our customer relations. They made it possible for us to be able to run this business. Automation is such a big part of this, and having everything flow smoothly and boxes get out on time. So that was probably that would be my first. CrateJoy, Subly, Shopify, all the companies kind of that you need that web platform to get started.
We also use Pirate Ship with our shipping as well. That's another thing that's really made it really possible to do this business for sure.
I've always been curious on the shipping costs with these boxes because it's not cheap sending a box out.
Yeah, no, that's been probably our number one challenge, the box, right? So Amazon has made us all feel like that shipping is free, that it's free and that it just happens. It's getting products shipped out, it's not just the box, right? We have the actual physical box that has to get made. We have the packing supplies that have to go into it. We have the labels. We have the products. We have the cards. All that kind of stuff we have to get it all over to us and get it put together, and then we have to get it out to our customers. And our customers as far as Alaska and Hawaii, right? So we have a lot of variation in the cost of that. We decided just to take that onto ourselves. We added it into our price. We have shipping included on all of our products. And like Jordan said, we use a company called Pirate Ship that helps us get more bulk prices from the Postal Service to kind of keep our costs down because, profit margins are tight on this, and we're trying to get as much value packed into the box as possible. So we try to limit shipping costs. We're actually working right now on trying to get international shipping added to our site, and that's a whole another can of worms that we have to jump into on how to get it shipped to other countries. So
yeah, that's funny. You guys just use a dirty word, Amazon. I know. Did you guys see that? It was on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter the other day. Did you guys see the video of the big blimp with the drones?
No.
Yeah, you have to look on Twitter. Just type in Amazon blimp, and somebody put like Darth Vader music behind it, like Star Wars. But it's this monster blimp. I mean, like a big blimp, and it goes over a city, and it has Amazon on it, and then all these drones are flying around with packages, like coming out of the blimp, like hundreds of drones.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy how I didn't realize this till probably several months ago that Jeff Bezos went to school here.
Yeah, New Mexico can produce some entrepreneurial minds, Bill Gates. There's a lot going on. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and somebody told me that the founders of Etsy are from here and live here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they actually live here. I just had our fastest growing tech company here. I had their CEO podcast, and his building that he had worked out something with them on that. So it's amazing. It's surprising when you think of it, because everybody thinks New Mexico is kind of being, behind the times or whatever, but we have a lot of tech here.
Yeah, for sure. We found out that Chip Gaines from the Fixer Upper show,
right?
I guess he grew up in Albuquerque. We sent something to his publicist. So Chip, if you're out there listening, get back to us. We want to send you a free box.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, just amazing people there. So now, as far as like social media, I know, I see you guys on Instagram and stuff. What's the importance of social media, and how do you guys approach that?
Well, social media has been, I kind of started it before we even launched, just to kind of try and slowly get backing, and that's been the way we've started. That's how we've gotten our word out to start with, and just having content for people, not just trying to sell to them all the time, has really been important, because people will follow. They see something that you post and it resonates with them. They're going to like it. They're going to follow you, and they're just going to kind of keep an eye out. And same thing on Facebook. It's just, we found out most of our conversions come from Facebook, so it's been a little bit harder to grow that. You know, we've done some contests to get more followers and for people to share it, and then they're telling people who they think might be interested. It just slowly has grown our social media. And then, of course, Eric has a great background in video editing, and he's produced some really beautiful videos, recipe videos, that we've been able to share into recipe groups, and people have been sharing and liking and commenting, and, well, I do it this way, I do it that way, but that really get out there. That's like our organic free marketing by people sharing those videos, and they're well done. It's not just, you know, bad lighting and, you know, over your stove or something. It's really great videos, and people love it. It's like, this is New Mexico, and it's actually looking like tasty videos. So that has been actually the biggest thing to help us grow, for sure, Facebook, the videos. But we're also using a thing called light growers for Instagram. And, you know, there's a lot of bots out there to try and help you get followers,
right.
But most of them are they're a little sleazy. They'll go and follow a bunch of people, and then as soon as those people follow them back, they'll unfollow them. And as I've learned, people really don't like that. We bought into this light growers bot, and what they do is I tell them what hashtags and which accounts follow, and they just go and like people's photos. They just, you know, this is New Mexican, they just like it. And then people see it, Nuevo, liking their photos, and they're like, what is this? They go and check out our profile, and they'll follow us on their own. So it's way more organic, and it's been the best thing at getting more people aware that we're out there for free, you know?
Yeah, and I always want to encourage people. I've talked to several business owners on this. If you're using a bot, don't use it with comments or anything like that, because at the end of the day, I had a business owner. They actually were using a bot, and the bot was responding to pictures on Instagram, and one of their customers' family had passed away, and they posted a picture of that, you know, and then they turned around and said, super awesome, great pic, you know, because it was just a standardized comment that would be put.
Yeah, I've seen that too, for sure.
Yeah, Instagram's a funny place. So, you know, you just see these people with 10,000 Instagram followers. It's hard to trust what is real and what's not. I think we're pretty proud of the following we're building and, you know, how we're going about it. And we really want, you know, since we have such kind of a zeroed-in niche of what we're looking for, you know, we're growing maybe slower, but we're happy with how we're going at this point. And so we're really looking to add content. Jordan runs all of our social media. She does an incredible job. If you guys are thinking about liking us on Instagram or Facebook or finding our YouTube and subscribing, you know, like she said, you're not going to get hit over the head all day long about, hey, subscribe and order here. You get some cool stuff, some quotes, some recipes, and some just interesting things out there that may enhance your feed as you're going through it every day. So I'm pretty proud of how we've kind of grown our social media over the last 6 months.
That's awesome. And Jordan, I know he said you run the social media. How did you start out growing because I know the biggest deal is to get to the first 1,000 or whatever. How did you grow your subscriber base?
Yeah, so the biggest thing was, again, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've tried to read books on how to do this because it's not my background at all, but I've done my best to learn how to do this. I think it's Hatmaker, Jen Hatmaker. She's got a podcast that she's really great about. Like, you need to be 80% content, 20% selling. And so that's what I really like. I was posting 2 times a day and trying to do a lot of content for people, and then they were seeing it and enjoying it and liking it. And that got people to follow a lot. But to be honest with you, the contests have really helped get people to follow us and to be interested, you know, like by sharing and liking our page. And we had a huge contest. What month was that?
February, I guess.
February, where the winner would ship 18 frozen frontier rolls to their house, and everyone was all about that. You know, it was in our niche. It was, you know, anybody who's eaten New Mexican food has had to have had that cinnamon roll, I would guess. So it definitely got out. That was a huge boost in our social media. And then, of course, we've had a lot of news coverage lately. Channel 7 in Albuquerque and Channel 13 in Albuquerque Tribune. As soon as that happened, we got a ton of followers after that.
That's awesome. And I think one of the big things, and maybe Eric, you can talk about this, one of the big things, especially in these contests, you already have the product for the amount that the product costs compared to the amount of I was at a conference and Facebook said a share is like, if you want to equivalent to points, a share is like 50 points and a like is 1 point. So when you ran these contests, were you guys getting, a ton of shares? How did that work out?
Yeah, so we use a thing called King Sumo. So King Sumo does giveaways for you. Again, if any business owners are out here, just use the tools available to you. They're free and they're out there. And, MailChimp, we use King Sumo. We use the stuff that keeps this automated. So we're not going in and picking winners. The King Sumo does it, so it's completely above board. And you get a point. Basically, you get an entry into the raffle for everything you do. If you like our page, you get a certain amount of points. If you share it, you get a certain amount of points. If you tag people, and then for King Sumo, every time you enter in the contest, you put your email in. And so I think that's probably something that's shocking to me. I think that email's on its way out, or it's a thing that people just get annoyed with or whatever. But as the more you read, you're realizing that email is probably one of the better ways to convert and get customers. Is just getting that email and slowly growing that email list. And we did the King Sumo, and for a very low cost of just getting some cinnamon rolls shipped out to people, we got hundreds of email addresses in there. So you can't put value on that. That's great for us. We send out a newsletter, again, with just awesome content and recipes and things to those email people. So very little unsubscribed, because we also give content that people like. So, yeah, that's been interesting, the King Sumo and then trying to get email addresses.
Yeah, and I think people, they don't value email subscriptions like they should. I mean, as far as now, when you guys send an email out and you look at your Google Analytics, does the traffic spike or?
Yeah, so we send the newsletters out for anyone that wants to join our email list. You can join on our website, www.nuevofoodbox.com. You can just, as soon as you go in, it says join mailing list, you can join. And then every first and every 15th of the month, we're going to send out a newsletter, talk a little bit, have some videos, have a recipe, a little article about one of the products in the box, or something, to do with what's going on in the food world or something like that. So really just an easy read, something to do.
I believe every business owner needs to value email addresses and understanding that email marketing is still very much alive.
So this spike, you asked about the spike in the shift. So we just sent the April newsletter out, and yeah, sure enough, we probably doubled our website traffic for that day. And, we use MailChimp for our emails. We can check how many people are clicking on it, how many people are opening it. We're doing pretty good on that. So it's just always nice to kind of see how that's paid off for us and getting the word out. And we really think it's going to help around holiday times, things like that. Just keep awareness high and top of mind consideration.
So nice. We don't send a lot of emails with our sales and stuff all the time. And so if we have an announcement of like a big sale going on, like right now we have a promotion. If you buy a box, you get a free chili whack melt. It just makes your house smell like green chili. And so when we sent out our newsletter, that was a big announcement in that newsletter. So we don't have to keep sending people tons of emails and annoying them.
No, I think that's important, and I'm glad that you guys are. It seems like as far as the digital marketing side, you guys are being very proactive in that.
Yeah, thanks. Like Jordan said, we didn't have a background in this. All of human knowledge is in the palm of your hand and your cell phone, and we just spent our evenings, looking up articles and trying to learn as much as we could.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Join us this week for another episode of the Albuquerque Business Podcast with your host, Jason Rigby. Each week, he interviews leading local business leaders that inspire the vision and spirit in every entrepreneur, discussing strengths, weakness, strategies, systems, and the problems we can all solve together to fulfill a shared vision of a new future for Albuquerque. Listen or download this Sunday afternoon at 4 from your favorite podcasting app.
And we're back. This is Jason Rigby with the Albuquerque Business Podcast. I love this. This is like real business. Jordan, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the struggles that you've had with having an online business. And I know you're a mom, and we just had basically we're going to call it a commercial break because that's what we do on the radio station for being a mom. But I think so many people want to fake business and give this illusion, whether it's on Instagram or whatever. But do you mind sharing with me a few of the struggles or kind of like the real gritty part of having a business?
Yeah, I mean, we have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, so I imagine a lot of parents out there can understand that alone is a lot of work. So, I mean, for me, I was a Division I basketball coach. I've done a lot of those high demand jobs. This is pretty up there with it. I mean, I've got 24/7, I've got my 2 children, but then I'm trying to do my passion on the side. And it really is my passion. I'm just enjoying this so much. I want, like Eric said earlier, I want to do it all the time. And as a parent, I got to take a step back sometime, put my phone away, and hang out with my kids, because I want to work. I want to keep building this. And that for me has been a little bit of a struggle because I get a bit obsessive. I mean, I was a professional athlete, as you can imagine. I want to be the best. I want to do the best for my customers. And when bad things happen, I take it full on, and I take responsibility for it. So for me, it's just the time. Like I said, I constantly want to work on it, and I just, just step away and go do my spin class and just shut my brain off,
Yeah, I think that mentality, I love it, that entrepreneurial mentality. And you saw that in sports and, grinding it out and putting the hours and doing the time. Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about that with his family and stuff. And I love listening to him because it kind of, as for an entrepreneur, you always have that, we're always motivated by fear and guilt. And you always have those two things like, are my kids going to love me when I'm older,
100%. What's fun is that I am able to be home with my children. I'm able to do this while they're playing, while they're doing things, and I'm able to come down when they're just hanging out by themselves and I can work, and I'm able to be around them. As a Division I coach, I was gone out of town for weeks at a time, and when my oldest was 8 weeks old, I dropped her off with Daddy for 8 days. I was breastfeeding at the time, so I'm pumping on the road. I'm away from my newborn baby. It was really difficult, and that was, that's when I had to step away. I'm like, I want to be a mom. I want to be around my children. I want to be around my husband. And this is just like, it makes me feel like an athlete again. You're right. Like, it just brings back the competitive spirit, wanting to do things better. It's been really great.
No, that's awesome. So as far as your guys' future, I know everybody looks at, we always do forecasting, the 1, the 3, the 5 years, all that. But what does your guys' future hold? What are you looking at, Eric, future-wise?
Yeah, so in our future, we're going to just keep expanding our product offering. So right now you have the 1-month subscription and then 3-month prepay. We want to give it, like I said before, an international option. We want to get probably a lesser price point, some smaller offerings. We want to give back. We have some plans to do some charity work and things like that in there. So we're really looking to expand, also offering one-time products. Jordan mentioned you can get a green chili roast melt, a scented wax melt, which is like a candle diffuser thing in your box this month, and you can buy, if you're a current subscriber, you can buy that in our store. But we want to start offering things like that as well on our store and just expand our product offering and continue to grow our monthly subscribers, because that's really the bread and butter of our business. So we're looking to just keep growing, get into the holiday season where we think that a lot of that stuff goes down. And then the final, I think, the real big one for us, we want to grow into a corporate gift as well. So we really think that if you're a New Mexico business, if you're a realtor, you have customers or employees inside the state of New Mexico that you want to give them a really cool gift, this would be a great option for that. And to help out with that as well, we're working with a number of companies right now where we're co-branding our box with their company. So our brand will be on it, and then we will custom make a box, a certain amount of order number reaches, we'll custom make the box with your logo on it. So really, you get to pick what's in the box, you get to kind of work with us, and we can work with any budget really on what those would look like. We're excited about those opportunities, and we still got a ton of ideas that just keep coming in that sometimes we just don't have the time to get to all of them. So just trying to get all those things put into the world.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had a company send me a little box, and that's something that I remember to this day. If you're a New Mexican company and you're looking at something, especially if you're dealing with clients, whether it's B2B, whatever it is, and you're dealing with clients outside the state. Now, do you guys have it set up? Have you guys gone that far to have it set up for the corporation with automation, or?
Yeah, so it just depends on what the company's looking for. So we have a lot of one-time people that have customers that I want to send out, in May, I want to send out these boxes. We have some people that, hey, I want to have the boxes on hand, so as soon as I finish a job, I can hand them the box to my customer. So really, we just ask that if you're a company and want to work with us and get a custom order done, just email us, again, nuevofoodbox@gmail.com. Shoot us an email, let us get on the phone with you, and let's work around to do something to grow your business, help kind of brand you and get the word out for us as well. It's great for the companies, but it's great for us as well, because we just want to get the word out to as many people as possible.
No, that's awesome. I love that. I want to ask both of you, if you don't mind, are there any books or tools that have really helped you on your journey that you would want to share with someone else?
Yeah, for me, it's been podcasts, because, I'm a mom. I can't sit down and read for 2 minutes without being interrupted by my children. So I'll put my headphones on with podcasts. One of my favorites, like I said before, Den Hatmaker. Rachel Hollis, who's a huge motivational speaker, but also a businesswoman, out there in the world doing it herself. Super motivational to me. Yeah, I think that's the biggest one for me.
Yeah, for me, I'm online all the time reading different blog posts and things. I reread the book, The E-Myth.
Love that
I think
book.
if you're a business owner and you haven't read that one's a great one just to remind me to step outside of my business isn't packing boxes and doing social media. My business to grow this thing to a point where I could sell it or growing it or whatever our goal is. So that was a good one for me at the beginning to reset my mind.
No, I love that. Yeah, I think that book, it's been around a long time, and we always look for like cutting edge, like new books that have just came out there, but that's just a timeless book. And I say that all the time, and as a business owner myself, I have to look at that, is not working in the business, but working on the business.
Yeah, it was like late 70s, I think it was written.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of ancient wisdom at this point. But if you think about it, almost every business book since then has taken some portion of that. So, if you read that one first, you're pretty good for the rest of them,
Yeah, it kind of revolutionized the way I think, especially towards system thinking, like developing systems and what that means in your business, and, looking at every business as being like a franchise. And if you had to step back as a business owner, could somebody come in there? Would they know all the systems? Could they operate it that way? And then taking the time, because I know time is the most valuable asset that we have as an entrepreneur. So being able to take that time, it's worth it if you can take the 10, 15, 20 minutes. I heard somebody tell me a while back, they said, treat it like you're an author, like you're writing a book, and write your systems that way. Spend 15, 20 minutes in the morning. And over time, it may take you 3, 6, 9 months, but over time, you'll have your systems put in place. I want to ask you guys, I love asking this question. If you guys had a magic wand, money was unlimited, what would you change about your business?
If I had a magic wand, I would fix shipping. I'd make it cheaper, and I would make it so that my box doesn't look like it got kicked around the post office before it gets delivered. But if I had unlimited money, what would we do? I think we would give back. I think that's probably what our first thing was. We did this business because, we needed something to nourish the soul and bring out our creative spirit and bring us closer together. And the money that we get from it, and probably if people are listening, they might be rolling their eyes right now because it might sound cliche, but the money we get for it isn't as important as what it's kind of done for our family and been an exciting endeavor for us. So if we probably, when Nuevo continues to grow and become more and more successful, we're going to want to try to get back more to the communities and the people that have kind of helped us kind of get this thing started.
Yeah, I was talking and helping out this nonprofit organization here in Albuquerque, and they go in and go to school systems and stuff like that and go into the cafeterias and try to do healthy alternatives. But then they have classes for children and have them cook with them. And I always thought that was interesting, so, to be able to see them engaged, to get the attention span of a child for 45 minutes, going through recipes and going through that process. It's amazing to see that. And then you get a group of 20, 30 kids and they're all engaged. It's one of the toughest things that is on digital marketing side of things, to get someone engaged. That's so tough. But food, recipes, and building that seem to be the key to engage these children.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love that.
Yeah, so I have a couple more questions, and I'll let you guys go because I know we're going on the top of the hour. But I wanted to, if you guys had one characteristic, I'll start with you, Jordan, that you believe every business owner, especially an online business owner, should possess, what would that be?
Yeah, for me, I think it's got to be customer service and dealing with people in general. As being an athlete, you have to learn to work with so many different kinds of personalities. You have to make it work or it doesn't work. Like, you could be on a team with someone who you just don't like, but you've got to make it work. And, sometimes you get maybe a vendor or a customer who's not very happy or, they're just difficult to work with. You have to make it work. And I think just I'll tell you, I'm more willing to work with a vendor who's easy to deal with than someone who's not, because they're just easy to deal with. I know I can, trust them, and I know they're going to be so easy to work with. I don't know how else to say it, but so just having a personality that you can just fake it if you have to, but just be easy to work with and be able to deal with people when they're not being easy to work with.
That's awesome. And for you, Eric?
I think it has to do with your mindset and probably a relentlessness, and which really kind of manifests itself in a short-term memory, right? So I think that what I mean by that is go on the mindset, that you're just going to get through obstacles, and that anything that comes up is a speed bump and not a roadblock, right? Then the days become kind of just problem solving, right? Because there's not going to be able to start something, especially how we did it from a startup, no real idea of how we were going to make this work without just tons of obstacles. And I can just tell you there were days where I said, well, that was a good idea, but it's not going to work, right? And then you kind of dust yourself off and you just try to figure it out and get around it. So I think it's just a mindset of going into business with, you're going to make it work, and you're just going to keep thinking and trying and get over it. And certainly we've had our share of down times, and I can just tell you the upswings are a lot bigger than the downswings if you kind of come out with that mindset.
That's awesome. I appreciate you, both of you, Jordan and Eric, for being self-aware enough to understand the things like Jordan, how you had to deal with the players and how you had to go through that process. And then you, Eric, taking that corporate background and bringing it in. I think a lot of people don't understand that. They feel like they need to start from scratch, but realizing and understand that the experience that they had before prepares them for the opportunity that they have now. And so I appreciate both of you for being on the show. I want to make sure that we know your website. If there's friends or family out there, or if you're a business owner and own a corporation, what's your website again?
www.nuevofoodbox.com, so nuevofoodbox.com. You can email us at nuevofoodbox@gmail. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. All of those, just search Nuevo Food Box and you'll find us. And you guys can reach out to us on any of those things. We respond within 20, 30 minutes. If we're not out doing something with the kiddos, we'll connect with you, and we want to hear from everybody. So please reach out.
And Jordan, if vendor wants to get a hold of you, because you handle that, how would they get a hold of you?
You can DM me on Instagram, Facebook. I get back pretty quickly. I try to respond to all of our customers and all of our followers on Facebook and social media. It's all me and trying to make sure I keep those connections. So DM me, Instagram or Facebook, or just send a message or comment on any post, and I'll respond.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys for coming today. And that's all for today's episode of the Albuquerque Business Podcast. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank Eric and Joining for joining me today and sharing about the future of what they have in their business. I hope you've got a lot of value out of it today. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and that you never miss an episode, and help our community by leaving a positive review. And you can also stop at our website, abqpodcast.com, for any business book recommendations. We have that on there, our past episodes. We'd love to have it. Thank you, Eric and Jordan. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thank you to our sponsor, DukeCityMarketing.com. Please go to abqpodcast.com, where you can get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner in Albuquerque.